Hello everybody and welcome back to the OS World Cup 2025. I'm Mavs. I'm very excited today to be bringing you a very unexpected matchup, I say, not because of Germany being here, but because of one other team that has had quite the run this OWC and has put up by far their best performance ever in OWC history, and it's New Zealand. And here they are, seeded number 16, and I think a lot of people would very confidently say that that was an underseeding based on how they've been playing this tournament, taking out China previously in yesterday's matches in a convincing fashion as well, 6-3. And here they are now going up against Germany, which of course on paper is going to be very Germany favored, but got some interesting statistics to look over that I was looking at when prepping for this match. But Nonetheless, of course, I'm Mavs, and joining me today is for another cast. Yet again, every year we always seem to get one. It's going to be Dooms again. Very excited to be here with you, Dooms. How are you doing, man?
What's up, Mavs? I'm good. It's bright and early here, Sunday morning. Nice sunny outside as well. Very bright day here in the UK. But this is one that actually I don't think many people had on their bingo card like earlier on in the tournament. But when you see New Zealand play, especially once they got out of groups as well, which they absolutely bossed as well. Once they got out of groups, they did not look out of place. Including in their matches earlier on against like the likes of the UK, they looked great against them. Of course, the win yesterday against China was just seismic, absolutely huge for New Zealand. But it didn't look like a plucky underdog victory. They were well in control, and they looked like they were always in it. And they had brilliant team scores on many of the maps, particularly on the mechanics maps. But they're going to need all of that against one of the super heavyweights in Germany who never fail to get to the end stages of this tournament. These guys are never denied a late stage place, and against a lower seeded team, they should be quite confident themselves. But they've seen how New Zealand have been playing, surely. They know what they're in for here.
They've seen it, and yeah, they should know what they're in for. And we were talking about this in the pre-match. It's going to be interesting in the picking strategies here. I think Germany, especially with the, difficulty of the pools scaling up now as we get into the semis, maps are starting to get very hard. They should still feel quite confident into picking into this tapping, this speed, especially looking at the head-to-heads, winning out both the DT1 and the DT3 against Germany in this semi-final stage so far. Against New Zealand. So should be something they still want to pick. But of course, New Zealand, they've been relentless on the tapping, on the speed, all tournament. So all these maps are going to be break pointable for New Zealand, and we'll have to see what they're going to opt for. Head-to-head again for New Zealand, actually winning over Germany in the semi-finals round, 3-2 in head-to-heads, winning the No Mod 3, the No Mod 4, and the Hard Rock 2. So New Zealand, to me, looking like they're going to want to pick maybe some Hard Rocks, maybe some free mods, but we will have to see as we get the pick and ban orders in here, and very shortly we'll get the bans on the board. And what are we thinking here for bans, Dooms?
Well, if we look at the previous matchup, well, both teams literally banned the same maps. They both banned the low ARs. So someone has to change their mind today. Oh god, it's tricky because we're talking about, the tapping maps, which New Zealand have been brilliant on. Against Germany, it might be a very risky decision, maybe even like a bad decision. But would they go as far as to ban it? I don't know. So I suppose we'll see. They are going to kick off by just banning Hidden 2 anyway. So Germany will have to change one of their bans probably, at least.
Yeah, Hidden 2 ban. I mean, it still makes sense. Germany don't want to be playing low AR into most teams, but a team like New Zealand, I think Germany's going to do just fine on the low AR. It's not like they don't have players that are great on that. One big name comes to mind. Krilla is an absolute monster on maps like that, so I just don't think New Zealand want any piece of that. And that makes sense. And here come the Germany bans. It's going to be a No Mod 5 DT4. So taking out some reading. Interestingly, that's a bit weird after the Hidden 2 ban from NZ, but there goes the CS9 map as well.
So the Uber Precision targeted. That's a map that New Zealand didn't play yesterday. I think it's only been played once so far. Which does possibly leave the option of a Hard Rock 2 for New Zealand, which is something they did pick against China. Didn't win it, but they had a pretty good score on it. Psyche was just going God mode on the ending, which is a really hard part of that. So maybe they'll be looking at that one later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And New Zealand did win the head-to-head on that Hard Rock 2. Germany did play it in their match against Chile, and New Zealand won that by 100k. So very close. Still could go either way, but that is going to be a potential pick for New Zealand. And final ban here for New Zealand. Do they want to try and get one of these tapping maps out? The DT1 specifically looked very convincing for Germany over New Zealand's score this week, so that's an option, but it almost seems weird to get rid of a DT1. It's so...
Ooh, DT2.
Kind of go either way, but it's going to be DT2 gone. Okay. Don't want any piece of that Germany tapping.
That's a map that neither team played, but it was... Well, basically, it is just pure speed, pure tapping, and it's incredibly short. Bit of a wildcard pick because you can just int 2 patterns in that, and your score just goes through the floor because it's so short. So not wanting to risk that coin flip, I suppose, here.
Yeah, no, I respect that from New Zealand, but of course, you're getting rid of something like that DT2. You're leaving options open for Germany still that are in a similar vein to that map. We've got that free mod too, Entangle Knight. You know, it's not too far off what the DT2 is testing, so you know, you've got that to worry about. Although New Zealand, they're going to be insane on that free mod too. They're not going to be worried at all about how they're going to play that, but Germany are also going to be fantastic, so it should be a close one. We will see that getting picked, I'm certain of it, at some point. And the first pick is going to be coming in here from... I don't know who has the first pick. Actually, not sure.
I think it's going to be New Zealand starting off, I think, with the picks. They'll be kicking us off.
Yeah. New Zealand to pick first here. I don't even know how they want to kick this match off. They could go a few different ways, honestly. I don't think they want to pick like something like a DT3, obviously. They leave that for Germany, let that float. But we've got Hard Rocks, we've got free mods, and we've got that No Mod 3 and No Mod 4, and they're going to opt straight into that No Mod 4 that they won the head-to-head on.
Yeah, the Halgo. It's a classic at this point. It's one of the earlier maps from Halgo. Desert, very popular. Stream control map, this. Which they did pick yesterday as well. 186 BPM, streamy, but all about micro movements and tiny little movements in those streams you have to deal with. Lots of doubles and quads as well, and snappy 1-4 aim control. Weird high SV sliders as well, as is on brand for Halgo tech maps. It's all here.
Yeah, no, this should be a fantastic pick for New Zealand. Something worth of note as well in this pool is there's a lot of flow aim in this pool. When I was making my notes for the pool, I just found myself writing flow control for a lot of maps, like just writing that down in my notes. I was like, I've been seeing this one too many times. There's a decent amount of flow in this pool, and this map is no exception. And New Zealand, it's probably, you know, one of their best skill sets is their flow aim. You know, a player like Psyche is one of the best like flow aim players in the game. So maps like this should bode very well for them, and the head-to-head statistic is really is the perfect example of that. They won this map by almost 600k over Germany, so this should be a great pick. Of course, there's a chance Germany underperformed. We'll have to see if they can put up a better score this time round.
I can see Germany improving their score, but regardless, the score from New Zealand was great yesterday. I mean, their flying players are some of the best in the world, and over the course of this tournament, it's been a great gold team for them. I mean, the obvious names for New Zealand, Psyche was a titan yesterday, as Kyujin has been as well this entire tournament so far. But the core for New Zealand has been what has got them through the tough times. But they have those superstars that make the difference when you need one person to just have that bit of magic in them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got those stars. You've got Psyche and Kyujin, like you said, but like, you know, Osbert has been just going absolutely crazy this tournament, and I think as the maps start getting much harder now, it's going to be more difficult for him to put on those performances that he was putting on in quarters, round of 16. But he has been playing out of his mind, man. Good to see if he can show up again here today. But of course, you've got some monsters on the side of Germany too. Krilla, Isaiah Frost, Tim Kakner, Denzel Curry. A couple of these players can be very scary on something like this. Krilla could just pull out a ridiculous FC, and you know, when the maps start getting this hard, that really could be all it takes to take a break point. It's just one FC.
Here we go then. Germany are a team that really have never failed to make it to finals in over a decade at least. These guys are always ever present in the final stage, but can New Zealand pull off the biggest upset of upsets? If there is, it would be huge if New Zealand won this, but it is going to be a tough matchup against a German team with a lot of power, a lot of the same maps as them. But we'll see who has the confidence to take this one all the way.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the upset of the tournament for sure. So, thing to look out for, something to root for if you're hoping for a cool underdog performance. But there goes 5Q, Emil Bus to drop the FC. Osbert on a reverse combo here. Zyfrost and Tim Kakner losing their combos. Krilla also on that reverse FC, so it's going to be Denzel Curry on that solo FC there, up against 2 on the side of New Zealand.
So far, it's Psyche and Kyujin to lead the charge here once again, but this map's rather long. Harder patterns are still to come yet, so plenty of time for things to change. I think that's Tim Cackney with another drop there, setting Germany back just a little bit.
Yeah, patterns will start picking up a little bit here soon as we get into the more difficult section of the map here. Awkward doubles, weird flow control, and accelerating streams. But there goes a couple combos to drop for Germany. Zeitfrost is gone, Tim Cackner as well, and everyone holds on New Zealand's side. So 2 FCs, a near FC from Osbert, and a nice 600 combo here from 5Q. So looking very good for them at about the halfway point of this map, and I think we have a bit of a bunny stream section coming up maybe shortly. Don't remember if it's a little bit later in the map or not, but absolutely could see some breaks there.
I think it's coming up in just a second. Tricky party here with some wide spacing. Big insurance on the side of New Zealand as well with Osbert's recoveries. 5Q with that 900 combo. Everyone on New Zealand holding brilliant combo.
Ooh,
Eugene drops though, and so does 5Q, so that's 2 for New Zealand down. Followed by Osbert. It's just Psyche left right now for New Zealand.
Denzel goes down though. Ooh, Denzel Curry there to trade it. That was the FC for Germany. Krilla holding onto the reverse choke on a near FC here. But Psyche's got that FC. And the accuracy is almost matching Krilla. So this 200k cushion is going to bode very well for them. But this awkward stream section I was talking about, Dooms, is coming up here, I think, in just a second. Here it is. Very missable. It's relatively comfortable, but you can just chain miss, as several players have shown. 3 German players are down, and Osbert to trade, but Krilla, he's the one that matters for Germany here. It's a 230k lead, and Psyche needs to miss if Krilla wants a chance at pulling this back, and it has to be soon.
Cometh the hour, cometh the Krilla, but will it be enough? Psyche is already put out an amazing score on this, but the Dreamcast slider into streams coming up. That's a scary pattern. We'll see if that splits up these two teams now. Just a moment. Wait for it.
It's tense. It's tense in this slow section. Wait for it. Here it is.
Here we
No
go.
one finding a miss on that. They hit the slider. They hit the circle stream. Krilla and Psyche. Psyche finds the miss in the last Ki here. I don't know if there's going to be time for Germany. Krilla is doing everything he can. Psyche not going to close out the FC, but I don't think it's going to matter in the ending, Dooms. Germany have more than enough combo to pull it back if there was any time, but there's just none.
It was coming in quick, but yeah, it was too little too late. The damage was already done. First point goes to New Zealand. Their first pick goes their way and looked pretty decisive up until that ending. A brilliant slider break from Psyche, another amazing play. Kyujin as well with a 98% 2 miss. 2 miss on 5Q as well. Just a great team performance there to just make that first pick work. But a good attempt by Germany, particularly with, of course, Krilla with another 800k there to his name.
Yeah, Krilla, I mean, putting on a performance for us there as well. The reverse choke, missing only at the start. New Zealand roughly matching their team score from yesterday. Germany very much improving by several 100,000 points. So very well done from them on the improvement. But New Zealand still just slightly too strong on their first pick. And I mean, that's fantastic for New Zealand. That's how you want to kick things off. That doesn't give you some confidence against the number 5 seed. I don't know what will. A fairly solid win on the first pick, and now Germany to fire back. And Dooms, if New Zealand can somehow close in a breakpoint here, which is gonna be possible, because I reckon Germany go for some tapping, but they don't. They actually go no mod 1 straight into Tyranny.
Oh my god, no mod 1 alert right off the rip. Not a common pick. As we've seen, no mod 1 has not been the most popular map this tournament, so first picking this, a sign of things to come, possibly. Oh man, yeah, Melon Boy.
You gotta love Melon Boy, man. I mean, this is so unexpected. I mean, no mod 1s make sense, you know. The team that comes to mind picking, you know, AIM maps this tourney, of course, is United Kingdom, but you know, a first pick no mod 1, I feel like is almost a little bit psycho. It's like, you got confidence to first pick a no mod 1, and I feel like it's just... It's such a confidence move from Germany here to go for it. But Germany have notoriously always been very good at no mod 1. So especially, you know, when they had White Cat on the roster, they were always so solid at these AIM maps. Regardless, they've still got such a good roster for it. So it doesn't surprise me necessarily to see them go into AIM. But New Zealand, they've got players for this too. They've got very, very high skill ceiling, very good mechanical players on their team that can play something like this very confidently. So.
Well, yeah, Germany are a team that have always enjoyed their raw aim, been one of the strongest in the tournament at it. Teams like Germany always come to mind for this sort of thing, alongside teams like you mentioned, the UK, Poland as well is another one. But Germany on raw mechanics has been a force for forever, basically. And their aim players have been brilliant this tournament and beyond. Tim Kackner, I'm sure, will be staying in for this. Could be seeing Cone as well. Flair coming into the lobby here. His aim is going to be quite useful on this. Or maybe not. Won't be seeing Cone on this one. Well, for the tapping, I suppose, for Cone.
Yeah, I mean, Cone always a very, very solid player for Germany on that tapping, but not coming in for the Snowmod 1. Big Denzel Curry, one of their rookies for Germany here, sticking in the lobby for both maps so far. Blett and Kakna Krilla. And of course, what you'd expect for New Zealand, what you see on most maps, Saki, Osberg, Kyujin, and 5Q. Pretty much only time we don't see this roster is when it's speed or stamina. We generally see someone like Hasapi or Silent Hill come in for them over 5Q, but that core 3 for New Zealand, man, they really have not moved the whole tournament.
No, they've had their squad. They've had their squad, their all-rounder squad. And it's worked well for them so far. They have played some main maps this tournament, but I don't know if they've really picked into it. I recall they played it against the UK in the round of 16, but that was picked by the UK. This map, of course, being a Melon Boy aim map. It's not quite a conventional aim map, but it is mostly about sharp angles. There are plenty of linear aim patterns in this as well. Some tough bursts, some high SV kick slider patterns. Lots of spicy things like that to keep you on your toes, and massive, almost screen jump spacing for most of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, the spacing on this map just consistently, you can see even on these slower parts, the spacing is still so easy to find breaks on, just because you've got to fling your cursor across the entire screen. But already catching off a couple of players. Flair dropping the FC for Germany, but they've still got a nice three-way. Three-way still intact for New Zealand as well, and Kyujin with a slightly larger combo, but there goes Osbert. That's going to give favor towards Germany here after this first quarter of the map, and we'll continue to hold on to these big combos, which is going to bode very well for them on their first pick.
Yeah, it's a good way to open it up. It's a 4-minute map, plenty of time for things to change. So there's jumps in this, man. And I don't know if you agree with me here, but I was getting Tengaku vibes playing this with the aim patterns. I think it's the geometric shapes in this.
Yeah, they're very geometric, absolutely. But there goes Denzel Curry to find a break, and Flair. And Tim Kakner, 3 drops for Germany. PsyQ trades it, and so does 5Q. But Kyujin's got the reverse choke now, up against Krilla's FC. Everyone collapsing on that difficult section. As we approach the halfway point, this one is very long, 4 minutes. Several breaks still coming out for Germany, and supporting combos is going to be starting to look a little bit larger on the side of New Zealand, but this FC from Krilla is just going to be putting in work. There goes Flair again as we get into a difficult section with some bursts, some weird kick sliders, and man, any of this is missable. The slowdowns, but you're still going cross-screen. Krilla holding this FC is imperative for Germany to take this point. The triple section holding on, as well as Kyujin right there to fight back, and the rest of New Zealand still holding on to combos as well, but the rest of Germany just can't match. It's all on Krilla here, Dooms, and Kyujin is doing his best to pull New Zealand over the line as well as it starts to come towards them. 30k now.
Kyujin and Krilla, the only two to survive that section unscathed. But New Zealand definitely clawed a lot of that back through that section. That was impressive as hell, but it's still with Germany now. Krilla with a 99.93, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is a ridiculous performance from Krilla, but Kyujin as well. Both of them getting through that really difficult section. Now we've sort of flipped at this point. No one on New Zealand can hold a combo, but Germany, they've started to build up their recoveries now, so right back at New Zealand as Krilla, just the driving force for the Germans, continues to hold. Kyujin cannot miss now. Germany have got a 130k lead, and it's looking so good for them as we come into the final 8th of the map. Kyujin cannot miss. He is praying for a miss from Krilla, or I think Krilla just FCs this. I don't think there's any chance of New Zealand winning the Snowmod 1.
Yeah, if Krilla finishes this playoff, then it is all over. But Kyujin is doing everything he can.
Oh.
This is just insane, though, from Krilla. There's still plenty of hard patterns to go, but 900k, 99.9.
Oh, this is ridiculous from Krilla. The anti-aim, the spacing, the overlaps, getting through all of it. Kyujin misses, but Krilla refuses to miss. This is an absurd FC if he closes it out. What is that score from Krilla, man? What?
Oh my god.
That's a crazy score. That is a crazy score. Wow. That might be score of the semi-finals for me, man. That is not an easy map to FC by any means. That's unbelievable from Krilla.
Yeah, no mod 1 of the best of times is hard to FC in a match. Not least of which one like this, but 5 100s from Krilla. Barely any slider ends dropped, barely any tricky rhythm parts dropped on that one, and absolutely not a circle dropped to be seen. That was insane from Krilla.
That's quite the score. You know, no mod 1's, like you said, Doom's notoriously hard to FC in a tournament setting, but when you combo that with the fact that the ending of that map just seems near unhittable, and he hits all of it while FCing. It's just, that's crazy from Krilla, man. All the praise for him, but now we move on to New Zealand's pick again, and that's 1-1, both teams taking their picks. Now where does New Zealand go? Do they go into this No Mod 3, another map they won the head-to-head on, or do we opt for some free mod potentially? New Zealand, they really have loved their free mod this whole tournament. They've absolutely loved it.
They do like the free mod, and then, well, earlier on they were over-modding it. We're at the stage now where you really don't want to be over-modding these maps unless you really know what you're doing. But certainly, they've used it very well. Free mod 4 is where they're going, so that's something new for New Zealand. They didn't play this yesterday. Germany did. Maybe they saw that score and thought, yeah, you could beat that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the benefit, I guess, you have of seeing the other team play when you're in a lower bracket. Of course, you get to watch the other team play on the same pool you're going to verse them on. And yeah, like you said, they saw Germany play this map and they think, hey, we can do a better team score than that. So they just go ahead and they pick it. It's going to be the free mod 4. This is just basically your snap ult. Very tough on Hard Rock, I would say, but sure, AR 9.7, so this type of match should be relatively comfortable on the no mod. Very comfortable, actually. And shouldn't be too bad on the hidden, especially if you're a hidden comfort player. We'll see. It's going to be over 8 stars with the Hard Rock, so very, very tough.
Yeah, it's the usual sort of ult, snap, and flow patterns, right? So the sort of things you'd find in like a traditional no mod 3 ult map, you tend to see here. 147 BPM, so it's around that range as well, but I mean, mechanics are nearly 8 stars no mod, so pretty tricky there, and it's pretty long as well. Lots of tricky snap ult patterns, especially at the end. I think that the ending has the hardest patterns in this. So depending on how this matchup goes, that could split them up. But regardless, yeah, Hard Rock is absolutely demon on this. Hidden, there is room for hidden preference players to pick over mod hidden on this. I can see it. I don't know if we're going to see that from these rosters, but you know, there's a world where it happens.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't expect it from these rosters. Yeah, probably seeing Osbert here for New Zealand. Wouldn't imagine anyone else wants to go that hidden, and then Germany, well, probably Dynamo on that hidden. But we'll have to see. Love to see Okinamo in. Been playing for Germany for so many years. Comes in here for his first map this match. Mod 4, here we go. Denzel, Curry, Okinamo, Krilla, Zyfrost, Psyq, Osbert, Kyujin at 5Q. That same 4 for New Zealand so far this match. And you gotta start to think, Dooms, when is the tapping gonna come out and who's gonna be the one to fold first and pick it? Because both these teams are so good at it, they just seem to not want to pick it into each other, but we'll see who's the first to break that seal.
There we go then. Yep, it is Psyq and Osbert for New Zealand on the mods. That is the usual setup. Okinamo on that hidden. And then Zyfrost going to be taking the Hard Rock. Yeah, leaving Denzel, Curry and Krilla on the no mod there.
go, 3-4. Yep, just a very intensely mechanically difficult map. Like I was saying, you know, over 8 stars with Hard Rock on an alt map is nothing to scoff at. So something a bit like this, very tough to FC, especially at near 4 minutes. Maps like this are just hard to FC in tournament, man. Very, very difficult, but almost everyone holding that FC. Just Kyujin to find the early break. About 100 combo in. With how long this map is, shouldn't make really much of a difference. Get into a bit of free combo and approach this first Ki. Should start to see some breaks coming out here when this first chorus kicks off. Oh, and there's one.
Sideback and Denzel Curry there. Gonna split them up now to advantage New Zealand in this first kill. Sorry, Q drops though on the normal, hands it right back to Germany. And there goes Kyujin as well. That's 2 drop for New Zealand. Germany with the early advantage. Yes, Q on the hard rock as well. It's just Osbert on that hidden. Is the only one left for New Zealand?
Yeah, 3-way break for New Zealand. Big misses out from them, and this 3-way FC, especially both the modded players still intact for Germany here. It's going to be very, very good for them moving forward as we get about the halfway point. Bit more free combo. It's as free as the combo can get in this map. And these are in-between sections, but of course, everything's still missable, especially on that hard rock. And I guess the silver lining for New Zealand is they still got that hidden player holding onto the FC, but there goes Zeitfrost, one of the modded players of Germany, to fall. That's what New Zealand are wanting, that's what they're hoping if they want to take their second pick, but they need one of these FCs to drop, and there it goes! Krilla, actually the one to miss, and Denzel Curry misses on a slow section as well to reset. So it's just Okinamo now. Just Okinamo up against Osbert, both the hidden players putting in work, and New Zealand, they have way bigger recoveries than Germany now with all those breaks. And New Zealand are going to start pulling this back very quickly here.
How long can Osbert hold on this hidden though? Psyche drops on that hard rock. It's handed it back over, I think, but still pretty close. Denzel Curry with the break. And there goes Krilla. Krilla's down again there. It's just Okinamo and Osbert. I mean, that hidden 1v1 though. Okinamo versus Osbert. It's a terrifying opponent on the side of Germany. The face on a hidden 1v1. 99% still shows his comfort.
Yeah, you can see the accuracy difference here is making up about 60k score in favor of Okinamo, but this recovery from Kyujin is completely unmatched by Germany, completely unanswered as we get to about the final 8 here of the map, and Kyujin has a 900 combo that has not been answered from Germany, but there it goes. Kyujin drops it, and Osbert finds the break on the FC. Okinamo now, the only combo remaining in the lobby, continues to drive through for the Germans. He finds the miss on the final pattern, but I don't know if it'll matter. There's no combo on the board. I think Germany have done it, and I think they'll take this break point, but it's pretty close into the ending. 30k, a single chain miss could do it, Dooms. 20k, New Zealand's holding 10k. It's so close into the ending. Zeitfrost misses. Is it enough? No.
No, it's not enough.
7,000 points.
Oh my Gideon, 7k. That was getting so close at the end. Just some chain misses on the final patterns, the hardest parts of the map there at the end. Germany nearly dropping it, and New Zealand managing to claw their way through it, but not to be. Great attempt though. Osbert with the 700k on that hidden. Great effort from him. But Okinamo with the 800k, the old head of Germany, pulling him through when they needed him the most.
Unbelievable performance from Osbert, man. Almost does it. Okinamo just that little bit better on the free mod 4 today, and it was the difference. 7,000 points. So very close, and heartbreak for New Zealand as that was their pick. It would have been so nice to get a second pick on the board, but it's not to be, as he said, and now they need a break point. Somewhere, somehow in this match, New Zealand need a break point. At least one. They want to pull this to either a win or a tiebreaker. And where is that going to come in? I'm not sure, because I'll have to see what Germany want to go for. I think it could possibly come in some tapping, but like I was saying before that map started, I don't know who, when, or where is going to be picking that tapping. I would expect Germany to go for it, but when will that be? A DT3 is just staring at me. The DT1 as well. Remod 2 is open. It's just so scary to pick into New Zealand, man.
What a score to have on his birthday. I'm just gonna take Krilla's word for it. Whether it is or not, I don't know. These guys are full of banter, but still.
Yeah.
Sokidama.
Hopefully it's actually his birthday, yeah. If so, it's a big
Happy
happy birthday to
birthday,
Okinamo. Hell yeah. But it is gonna be the DT1, and yeah, I mean, this is a pick I was expecting from Germany. Out of all the, you know, quote-unquote tapping maps, I don't know if you'd necessarily want to call this a tapping map. Definitely has tapping parts in it, so close enough. This is the one that I think was probably going to be at least most convincing on paper for Germany. They won this one in the head-to-head by almost 800,000 score, which is monumental. So, very confident pick here, I think, for Germany. When we're going to see that DT3 or Free Mod 2 come out, I'm not sure, but this one should be pretty solid for Germany.
Yeah, look at the last scores from them. It was decisive. There's room for New Zealand to improve on it for sure, but again, we're playing into the aim side of DT, where Germany looked great. Of course, that No Mod 1 was the Krilla show, but they've already posted way above 3 million on this. That's a brilliant team score to post on a map like this. But I think there is room in the locker for New Zealand to improve on these, because they have used these so well. If there's a breakpoint, it's going to be on one of these DT maps, you would think. This one might be the toughest one of the lot to try and do that, though.
Yeah, I agree. Which is... it's a bit strange, almost a bit backwards. I think from most matchups you would think the DT1 is the one that's, you know, the most coin flip. But not in this instance, I would say. The tapping maps, both these teams incredible on tapping, and Germany just got that edge on the aim. And they're going to show it here today on the DT1, I would think. But like you said, New Zealand can still do big things on this. You've still got players like Saikyuu who could just FC this map. Even someone like Kyujin. I'd be extremely impressed to see an FC out of Osbert or 5Q, but it is absolutely doable for their star players here, Saikyuu and Kyujin, on something like this. Could absolutely go off.
Actually, a slightly different roster for Germany that played this last time. No Okinamo in this roster now. Looks like they've swapped out Tim Kakner for him. More aim-centric player there on the 230. Must be feeling it better today.
Yeah, here we go. DT1, you can see it's the aim-focused DT, but we've got a lot of bursts in here. It really isn't just aim. You've got triples, you've got quints, you've got doubles, and they just kind of don't stop. So, not going to let up on any of these players. And you can see the accuracy drops from many players coming in. 94s on some of those New Zealand players. Definitely not boding well for them early, but no combo drops from anyone across the board yet. So we're in for a pretty long map. Everyone's looking quite comfortable, but losing a combo on someone on New Zealand right now would be really rough, just because some of these accuracies are so low.
Yeah, that first part does trip you up on accuracy a lot as well. Denzel Curry, first one to break there, followed up by 5Q, sorry. So that's one FC apiece dropped on either side. We are as you were.
Yeah, you can see that score difference, though, being made up just in that accuracy. Detriment that New Zealand do have. 5Q with another miss. And now Germany still holding onto the three-way, but so is New Zealand. Saikyuu and Osbert start to, pull those accuracies up a bit. A little bit of free combo as we approach the next hard section, but still absolutely doable with these FCs intact. Just New Zealand hoping for a miss from Germany, and it's gonna be possible for them.
Approaching halfway though with 6 FCs on the board is absurd. But the harder parts are still to come. That's the thing with this map. It's so long. Here come the doubles. And some big aim coming up now. So much multiplier on the field for both sides. This could switch in an instant still.
Yeah, so many big combos. 6 of them. And there goes one. Osbert to find the miss on New Zealand. Not what they needed. They were already at a deficit. And now they fall a little bit further, but we're about halfway through and there's still time for these 2 FCs, those 2 star players for New Zealand, to make things work. 5Q finds a break. There goes Denzel Curry to trade it. Not the combo that matters for Germany, though, as they still have a very confident 3-way, going strong, all with great accuracies. Krilla, Tim Kakner, Flair putting in work for them here. And Psyche and Kyujin are just praying for a break from anyone on Germany right now.
They're hoping for something.
Krilla.
There goes Krilla, so that's something. It is actually with New Zealand here.
Oh, that's
Big chip is there from Denzel Curry. It's moving.
Completely forgot about how difficult that top to bottom of the screen stream was, and Flair is the one to fall on it. Denzel Curry as well with another break. It's just Tim Cacto. No, Kyujin misses on nothing. Oh my god, he misses on a free combo section. Psyche now matching Tim Cacna, and it's a 230k cushion for Germany. Tim Cacna's going to have to miss, I think, here for Psyche to pull it back. There is a little bit of time, but perhaps not enough. It is 200k to move into the ending, and it looks like that is going to be Germany's point, but man, it was close.
It was so close. I think with that 200k and the slow part, not many notes here. It might not have been enough for Kyujin to reel that in regardless. But still, we're looking at two FCs, one on each side. Barring no disasters here. A double FC on this, and there it is. Tim Cacno and Psyche take a bow. Especially Tim with the 98%. Getting over some of the issues, I guess the tech issues he had yesterday, but looking real good today. You love to see it. He's back on form.
Man, the spin to win on that map would be unbelievably stressful. How long that spinner is. But yeah, great FCs from Psyche and Tim here. Fantastic stuff to see from them. Big scores. Kyujin with the reverse, not reverse choke, sorry, the miss right at the end. And as you said, Dooms wouldn't have mattered in the end. The score difference was too large for Kyujin's FC to end up mattering. But there's going to be Germany taking the next pick in a quite close fashion. Was definitely winnable for New Zealand, about 200k. So New Zealand improving their score by quite a big margin. And now, what do they fire back with? Because after losing their last pick by 7,000 points, man, you need to get something on the board. You do not want to be going down 1-4 back into Germany's pick here. Things might be already looking too little too late at that point. So what do you have in the back pocket? Is it Hard Rock 2? Is it the tapping? Do we go free mod 2? Something like that would be so good for New Zealand, but also so good for Germany. I'm looking at maybe the Hard Rock 2 Dooms, but I'm not too sure.
I'm thinking Hard Rock 2 as well, actually. It's a map that, of course, you look at the stats and yeah, New Zealand looks pretty good on it. Germany banned Precision. It seems like a good choice here. I think that Dreadnought pick would be another risky one, a bit of a coin flippy one. It's another one where Germany did beat them on the plays they did yesterday. But it's also one where you can see both teams doing a bit better, possibly even doing a bit worse because of the nature of that map. But Hard Rock 2 sounds about right to me, and there it is.
Yeah, and I would say probably one of the harder maps in the pool, at least to get like a FC on for sure. This one's very, very tough. And we saw Psyche on this yesterday get a ridiculous score. Actually, and almost was the reason they beat China on it. I know it was so close, and he missed right at the ending, but very doable again here. New Zealand should have a pretty solid lineup for this, and of course, got a player like Psyche who just lives on maps like this, loves them. But Germany are gonna have very competent players of their own that can play something like this, and it should be a close one no matter what.
It is a map that generally gets harder as it goes along. It has its ebbs and flows with the song, but it generally goes up in difficulty linearly, and that ending is brutal. We've seen full lobby wipes on that. A lot of the time it's been played, so anyone comboing through that has done God's work. Some good scores from the side of Germany when they played this as well, although of course on paper New Zealand looks good on it, but you're looking at players again like Triller who got a 3 miss on it last time. Flair's in the lobby, he also played this last time. Wonder if he'll be staying in for this. It would make sense, because this is more on the aim side of Precision. Aim control, but certainly more on the aim side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something sometimes that goes a little overlooked, but, you know, these Hard Rock 2s aren't just CS 6.5 anymore. They're CS 6.8, sometimes CS 7+. The DT4 this week was CS9, I think the smallest circles we've ever seen in OWC. So maps like this They are so hard to play in tournament, man. You know, you got to remember these people are human. They have nerves, and you're aiming at circles that are so damn small, and the mechanics are hard at the same time. It's so easy to find random misses on just nothing patterns in these maps. Every single note is a chance to miss. Anything can ankle break you, so you know you gotta be strong-willed playing these small circle maps.
The mapper as well is known for making tricky control-sided maps, tech maps. Calionet is quite an infamous mapper for that sort of thing. This is quite Route 1 for them, with it being more on the aim side. But you can see that influence in this because, as you said, you can break on practically anything in this map, even the slower parts.
Absolutely, but here we go. It's gonna be the Hard Rock 2. Not actually keeping Flair in, as you mentioned. I believe he did play that yesterday. A little bit of a swap here for Germany. Krilla, Denzel, Tim Kakner, and Zyfrost coming in. Osbert, Q, Jin, Q, 5Q. That core 4 here for New Zealand. Sticking in the lobby, but here we go. Intro fairly calm, but, you know, as I was saying, all these patterns are still very missable. Players handling them quite well early on. You can see some of this linear, snappy aim sort of coming in. And it's going to be a lot of that throughout this map. Quite awkward. And there goes Osbert on the side of New Zealand, as well as 5Q to find breaks. So 4 FCs now to 2.
The Patna follows up there, so the first break for Germany's down. 3 FCs to 2 though. Germany's still looking good early on. This is a map where you kind of want to try and hold as much combo at the start, because it is more playable here. But as you said, everything in this map is breakable, and Zyfrost follows up with 2 breaks of his own. It is 1 FC to 2 now in favour of New Zealand. Never mind, 1 FC to 1. There goes Krilla. It's just Psyche. Only Psyche left now.
Okay. This map's only 2 minutes long as well. We're already halfway through, and of course, as you said, it gets way harder as it goes. So Psyche, with a chance to carry his team, if he continues to hold, it will be done and dusted, and New Zealand will take this pick. But Psyche has to keep holding, and it's a big ask with how tough this map is about to get. But the longer he gets through this, you know, quote-unquote free combo right here, the more he's going to skyrocket this score over in New Zealand's favor. Misses coming out across the board from several players. Tim's down, Krilla's down, Qjin, 5Q, all missing on this so-called free combo. But here we go. The map's going to pick up here very shortly, and there goes Psy-Q to find the break. And now there's time. It's only 200 combo from Denzel, 200 from Zyfrost, but on a map this short with this little circle density, that's actually a lot of combo, and you can see the score starting to go back over in this ending. This ending is so tough, but Denzel's there to hold. Zyfrost breaks, so does Denzel. No combos on the board, Dooms. I think it should be enough into this really hard ending.
Yeah, comboing through this ending to try and claw a score lead back is not where you want to be. Denzel tried though, but Psy-Q with the 600k again. Another brilliant score from him on the start this time, actually getting the score where you really should be getting the score this time. But still, 700k nearly. That's big.
Yep. Krilla as well with a 3-miss 98.5%, but just unable to find that combo. Gets just under a 500k, and that was a difference. You know, his 100 count, his miss count, it looked just like Psyche's, but Psyche hit that combo in that first, you know, 2/3 of the map, as you said, where you need to be hitting it, because that ending is just, it doesn't feel FCable in a tournament. So Psyche just doing that bit better. That 3-miss 650 combo, and that's going to be New Zealand take a second point, do win their third pick. Things could be looking so good for New Zealand right now, man, if they won that last pick. So unfortunate, but it's still in the books here. A win is still in the cards for them, as Germany now can have a think about where they want to go. It certainly is not an easy choice.
Well, they've been picking lots of 1 maps. They've picked No Mod 1 and DT1. They still got Hard Rock 1, which they played yesterday. 3 Mod 1 could be an option. That one's more about streams. The German hidden one would be a bit of a side swipe pick, because I know Germany on hidden, it's not the most common pick you see from them. But they have been picking lots of aim. I wonder if they'll stick with that, with the choices they have.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of options still for aim, like you said. You know, all these ones, especially this week, are very heavily aim focused. Not that they usually aren't, but you know, usually you've got one of the one slots is like quite a bit different, but a lot of these are very aim centric. But it is going to be the Hard Rock 3. to come in. It's going to be the Hard Rock Tech pick coming out. A lot of flow in this one. Again, flow tech. Seeing a lot of flow, like flow control in this pool. And some slider aim in this one as well.
We love streams. We put streams in everything. But yeah, this is more about the tech side of things anyway. The Kaganui, map by Flake. Seen this a couple times, not been too common. But the Hard Rock slider tech, so of course, you've got your usual no mod 4 stylings, but you're dealing with smaller CS, the higher AR, the higher OD. So of course, you want your strong Hard Rock reading players in for this one, and Germany have some amazing ones to call on.
They absolutely do, but so does New Zealand. New Zealand's going to have a very good roster for this map, and regardless, this should be a fairly close one. I'm still just on edge, Dooms, for when they're going to pull out the tapping. Like, how late are we going to push this, and who's going to fold? Because it's got to happen. There's no way we don't see any tapping this match. Two extremely good tapping teams just avoiding it against each other. It's kind of comical.
It is. It's the staring contest. They're just doing circles around like Entangle Knight and Dreadball this matchup. Someone has to pull the trigger, but clearly not yet. Clearly not yet.
And they'd rather go for Hard Rock 3, you know? Which is a map that they could absolutely get breakpointed on. Of course, don't know the scores of these German players, the confidence they're going to have going into this, but I'm expecting New Zealand to be very good on something like this as well. And this is a short one as well, Dooms. Volatile, less than 2 minutes. One miss on the middle of this map, one chain miss to tank the accuracy by a couple percent is going to tank your score by a lot. You know, when you're dealing with really short maps like this, so really could go either way.
We'll see how the combo game's looking on something like this. Of course, you know, with these slider tech maps, there is always room to cheese it if you want to, but in a matchup like this, I think that's not a wise decision because the accuracy is going to be incredibly important against teams that can play this properly. A few early breaks from quite a few players in the lobby on that first opening stream, which really does come at you straight away. Oh, it's a 4-way break from New Zealand!
Wow. It's about to say, quite a tricky pattern coming up there. Big wide spacing aim into that cross-map stream, and it catches off so many players in the lobby. It's only Krilla with any combo to speak of. And there's already a quarter of the way through this map. Krilla still with the only combo, and if he continues to hold, he's going to be doing leg work for the Germans, but no one really able to pull anything together here. Psyche and Kyujin got some nice combos. There goes Denzel's recovery. So it's just Krilla versus Psyche and Kyujin here. So we approach the halfway point. Wow, there's a lot resting on the shoulders of Krilla.
There is. And there he goes.
Oh.
He drops on that pattern. And now it's with New Zealand. Kyujin and Psyche could do the damage. Osberg gets the break. But that's two big combos from New Zealand, and the break is shown. They know what is in store.
Yep. Good break point. There's a good time for a break here for New Zealand. Knowing it's not just you who has to hold. You've got, you know, you've got the help of your brethren here, Kyujin and Psyche. But no, they both fall right as I say that. I curse Krilla and immediately curse the New Zealanders as well. It is flickering back and forth, Dooms. It's less than 2,000 points in this, and Denzel Curry and 5Q are the only one with combos. 5Q goes down, so it's just Denzel Curry now into this final section, and it's already over a 70,000 score lead. I think barring a monumental chain miss, I think Germany might have this one. Denzel goes down, but there's just not much combo on the side of New Zealand.
Now, on the outro now, that's going to be it. That is it. It was so close, though. Great effort again from the dynamic duo. Psyche and Kyujin do that first half there, but Germany making it work in the end. Just a bit better as a team on that, but there really was not much in that at all.
Yeah, I mean, less than 90,000 score difference. Absolutely could have gone either way. Unfortunate for New Zealand. I was saying, you know, this is a good time to see a break. You've got not just your combo, but the combo of your teammate right there for Psyche and Kyujin. You got them to rely on, but they both immediately break after the pause, and that does cost them the map. Germany take their pick, and now back to New Zealand again. They've got to find a break point somewhere. That was their best chance so far in this match, and it wasn't meant to be, so it's gonna have to be on Germany's next pick, but New Zealand have got to convert their own pick first. And where is it gonna be? Do they pull that trigger? Is it the tapping? Or do we maybe go for something else in this free mod pool? I can't imagine picking Hard Rock 1 is a good idea after what's happened on the other AIM maps. So is it that No Mod 3 actually?
Yeah,
winning that
I'm thinking
head-to-head
No Mod
against
3.
Germany. Yeah, either No Mod 3 or the free mods probably.
Well, so far their wins have been on the No Mod 4, Desert, and then of course that Hard Rock 2, which was the Precision. The tech side of things has been New Zealand's strat so far, and that No Mod 3 could be pretty good for them. That's where they're going to go. They are going to go into Skywide Beatscape, one of the originals of this round. And why not? Looks pretty good on paper to me. The paper is a flimsy thing. Germany could certainly scrunch that up and change that, but New Zealand will be hedging their bets on the No Mod ult, it looks like.
Paper is very flimsy. It can be torn at any point. Germany going to be looking to do just that, but this, again, after I just said the last New Zealand pick how hard Hard Rock 2 is, this map is also probably one of the harder maps in the pool. This map is absurdly difficult. It's one of those maps that doesn't look too bad to play, you know? It's an alt map with some snap aim in it. You know, I could play this, and you go and play it, and you realize the doubles in the middle of alt patterns just feel so awkward and so uncomfortable to play through. Holding a combo on this is really difficult. So this is a very, very tough one as well. But we saw, I believe it was Psyche from New Zealand, go crazy on this as well yesterday. And New Zealand, as a team, doing quite well. They have a 450k win over Germany on this in the head-to-head, which is quite a big score difference on a no-mod map. So should be going into this one, you know, like we said, on paper as the favorites.
Yeah, that No Mod 3 score was powered by a Psy-Q special. They got 800k on it. Fusion got one miss on that as well, though, so they did look good as a team. Their core carries did well on this last time. But as you mentioned, this map is just hard as hell. It's such a hard aim control map. It's rather short, but it's it's 180 BPM, which is pretty quick for these sorts of aim patterns. It's it reminds me of the sort of ult map you see in like a DT4, right? The high tempo kind, but it's in no mod.
Absolutely, and it's just like when you're aiming through these flowy sort of ult patterns, and you have to stop in the middle of it to hit a double. And then continue like nothing happened. It just feels so backwards and so awkward to play. And we're gonna see it catch off many of these players, but I'm not doubting that they're gonna have some pretty confident rosters on this. Here we go. Core 4 in for New Zealand. Gonna be seeing Aimbot Cone come in for, I believe, his first map this match.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Interesting one for it to be as well. The no mod control. Normally core for the tapping side. But clearly really wants to play this original, and why not? It's an absolute tune. Shout outs to Steel Plus for this tune, and shout outs to Aza and Mega Fan for this map as well. It's a collab between the two. Lovely storyboard by Noffy as well, which you should definitely check out. Great work.
Here we go. A No Mod 3. Crucial for New Zealand to convert this. To get a third point on the board. Do not let Germany get to that match point into their own pick. You can see already several players fumbling all over the place. It is a circus right now, Dooms, as
oh my god,
only 5 queuers I think gotten through the start here with an FC intact, and no one else can hold anything together. The tent is falling down at this point, but a couple combos starting to break through the pack here. 5Q loses the FC. Kyujin's got a bit of a combo. Krilla's there. So is Denzel and Zayat Frost.
Yeah, that start was something. Like everyone's struggling there, but people settling into a rhythm now quite nicely. It looks like Germany are going to get out there slightly better though. Psy-Q and Osbert with a break there, nearly halfway now. That's going to hurt a lot. There goes 5Q as well. It's only Kyujin for New Zealand. Everyone on Germany holding through that. They are looking really good as we get into the halfway point.
Kyujin with a nice combo, but matched by almost every player on Germany. Zaytfrost is gone, Aimbot Cone's gone, so Kyujin's got something to fight back with, but Denzel and Krilla have something to say about that. So we're about over halfway through this map, and you can see these doubles in the middle of these ult patterns, man, are just so awkward, but Players with the big combos are handling them. Chain misses coming through. There's nothing to speak of the side of New Zealand except for Kyujin. And Krilla and Denzel Curry are looking to try and close this match out early and bring Germany to match point. And I think in this final quarter, it is already such a big lead for them.
These are two huge scores on the side of Germany. Denzel Curry and Krilla, 500k and rising, and Kyujin breaks on the slower part, which has plenty of parts you can break on. Those doubles are pretty hard. Doesn't matter though, this is one-sided, this is decisive, this is a huge break point for Germany. The gamble did not pay off. It's worked so far for New Zealand, but now Germany is going to be on match point to get into finals. They are in control.
They are in control. That's one way I'd put it. Krilla with the miss at the very start and then a couple misses at the end there. Top scoring the lobby there with 860k, but yeah, I mean, huge props to both Denzel and Kyujin with those big scores too. Anything above 500k on this map is impressive, and like those scores are ridiculous. That from Krilla and Denzel is magnificent work. The accuracies too, man, 98% from both of them. Very, very strong stuff from Germany here. And they win that one by such a convincing margin after New Zealand had the head-to-head win by their own convincing margin, almost 500k. But Germany had something to say about that. And, you know, I guess they really felt that was an underperformance from them yesterday because they just showed the hell up on that. Here we go now, Germany match point. And I'd say if there's a time to pull the trigger on tapping, it would be now, but they're going to stick with their guns and they're going to go back for more aim.
Maybe with the time they've got and the space they've got, maybe they could try out some tapping at this point. They have insurance. They'll have at least, at the very minimum, one more pick. But no, they are just going to stick with the one maps. Why not just go with what's worked so far? Don't blame them.
Yeah, and if this one didn't happen to work out, they've still got two more. They've got Hidden 1 and Hard Rock 1 right there if they want to go back for it. But it is going to be Free Mod 1. Last map. And quite difficult mechanically. But again, a lot of flow control. The name of this map pool, really. Some very, very tricky cut streams in this one that I think make this map really hard to combo. You know, coupled with some awkward aim. Yeah, this is a very tough one on Hard Rock. Very, very tough.
You're looking at nearly 8 stars with not just the awkward aim in this, the big anti-aim patterns, you know, small spacing into big spacing changes, and also all the cut streams on Hard Rock. It's brutal. Again, you're looking at the Hard Rock specialists on both sides really, but particularly on the side of Germany, can make mincemeat of a map like this. I wonder if Tim Kackner will be coming back in for this. He had an amazing run on one of the late stage free mod maps on Hard Rock last year. It was one of the scores of the tournament. That one was quite streamy as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him play this one. Flair could also be in for this as well. Another Hard Rock main for them.
Yeah, I would also expect Okinawa to come in for Germany here on the Hidden. But we'll see if that is going to be the case. Not 100% sure. For New Zealand, of course, it's pretty much, I'd say, pretty stock standard for them on most free mods. Misaki on the Hard Rock, Osbert on the Hidden. Be very surprised to see anything different, and I don't expect to see an overmod from either team on this one. Just not necessary. There's a potential for the Comfort Hidden, but I wouldn't expect it from either of these rosters. And overmodding Hard Rock on this is, well, it's just really unnecessary, isn't it, Tubes?
Yeah, if you're overmodding this on Hard Rock, then you are asking for trouble. I'm just saying. Yeah. Even if you're New Zealand, you are professionals at overmodding. You don't overmod this unless you're a hidden specialist, anyway. No Tim Kackner actually, so I called that wrong. You're seeing Denzel Curry, who is another very solid player for this. Wonder where the Hard Rock's gonna go though. Will it be going on Flair? I wonder.
I'm unsure, but I mean, Denzel coming in again for another map, playing so many maps. One of the rookies for Germany, and he's been playing so well in this match, man.
Yeah,
great to see. Great to see, but it's going to be Flair on the Hard Rock, actually. Okinawa, of course, on that Hidden, and then the expected players for New Zealand, Osbert and Psyche on those mods.
It's been, honestly, it has been insane from New Zealand. I don't think they've subbed a single player this entire matchup. It has been a 4-man team for New Zealand.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, of course, if we saw some tapping come out, we would see probably Hasapi come in, but yeah, that hasn't happened, so it's just been the same four-man. New Zealand has been a four-man roster this match, and they may be for the entire match if they don't win this point. So we'll have to see. Everyone holding on in this intro. Went for a pretty long one too, almost 4 minutes on this aim map. A lot of the aim maps in this pool, pretty long. Consistency check as well as an aim check. There goes Okinamo on the hidden. Find a break. You can see these cut streams I was talking about early on. Very easy to find misses on, especially at that 204 BPM. Osbert is there to trade, so both hiddens have found breaks in this map, but everyone else is holding. Double no mods either side, as well as the Hard Rock, but there goes 5Q. Traded by Flair on the Hard Rocks, so New Zealand now with a slight advantage, especially with that miss from Krilla.
Psyche drops on the Hard Rock though as well, so it is 1FC to 1. It's the no mod 1v1. Denzel Curry and Kyujin. The recovery is looking pretty good on the side of Germany through Okinamo, but it's a slight advantage right now.
Yeah, very, very minuscule advantage, and it is going to evaporate from New Zealand here as, yeah, Germany do have the combo advantage. They will take this back. A couple more of these cut streams. They don't look too difficult, but very easy to just leave one of those cut streams a tiny bit too early or late. Would cost you the combo here. And combos are starting to get quite large, and there it goes, Denzel Curry. An FC, the only FC for Germany to find the break, so now it's just Kyujin with a chance to pull New Zealand over the line on this 3-mod-1.
Yeah, Okinamo dropped his recovery as well now, so it is well with New Zealand. Psyche drops again on that Hard Rock, and so does Osbert, but it's still with Kyujin on that big FC. The no-mod FC. The solo coming up now with some pretty tricky streams. Can New Zealand hold through this one?
And Kyujin hold, and as well as 5Q, big recovery from him. 800 combo almost, but it really is all on Kyujin mostly. Continues to go into this stream section. There goes 5Q. There's a recovery down, but Kyujin, if he can continue to hold, will do it for New Zealand. Getting through all these streams, the hundreds come through, hits the slider stream. Getting through the cuts as well, just so confident from Kyujin on this 99%. And that score lead is rocketing towards New Zealand, man. Great performance from Kyujin on the 3-mod-1.
This is brilliant from Kyujin. How many times have we said that this tournament, though? I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. This guy is insane.
It's been ridiculous. Finds a miss, but too little too late, I think, here for Germany. Just not enough combo on the board for them to pull back 300k in the final slivers of this map. Big combos, but it's 300k lead, and he's going to be the break point. Well, one of the break points that New Zealand needed to try and pull this to tiebreaker now.
They're still fighting New Zealand yet. That's a big break point as well. One of the aim maps have been stolen. The 800k from Kyujin is colossal, titanic, massive even. It's still with Germany though. They are in a good spot still. But New Zealand are not going out just yet.
And now comes the question of where do New Zealand go? Of course, that was Germany's pick, so what is it going to be for New Zealand? We've got something like Free Mod 3, which I feel like might be a solid option, but we've still got the tapping. That's really been the staring contest of this match, as you mentioned earlier. We don't want to go into this hidden one, this hard rock one. No Mod 2 is still an option too, not something we really talked about. Of course, that falls under the tapping, but New Zealand very solid at flow aim. It's probably less of a, that No Mod 2 is less of a stamina focus and more of the flow aim focus, so I think that could be something that's probably very solid for New Zealand here. It could be No Mod 2, it could be Free Mod 3, and it looks like they want to run a timeout to decide.
It looks like it maybe. Might be running that just to see what's up, get some practicing. And this is a tough decision. There are some good choices here, but there's nothing really guaranteed. I mean, yes, DT3, Dreadnought, we've been talking about tapping all matchup, but Germany would be fancying the chances on any of those tapping maps. But you mentioned No Mod 2, Miss Victoria. Has that map even been played yet? I don't think I've seen it. Like, it's not been very popular. If picked at all. It's more a straightforward No Mod 2 like stream map, but it's huge on the excels and decels. It's very long. It's very difficult. And New Zealand have the flow aim specialists to work with that, but you're picking a stream map into Germany. Like, Germany are the No Mod 2 team of all time, right? Although they haven't been doing too much with it this time around, they are always like one of the top teams on that sort of map. So you got to be careful if you're going to try and hedge your bets on your star carries on that map against Germany, right?
Absolutely. But with how long that map is, that's the type of map as well that's solo carryable. You could just have one big FC. That really could be the difference. But is going to be a very, very tough one, as you said, against a team like Germany. Not sure. Like, we could go tapping. We could go free mod 2 here. We could go some flow, heavy flow aim, no mod 2. We could stick with what, New Zealand's been picking and go something like free mod 3, sort of in the, same vein as something a little bit more unconventional and something, like the number 4, like the Hard Rock 2. Just don't see that Hidden 3 being a great pick for New Zealand. And these 1 maps, as we mentioned, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, just probably more Germany favored at this point in the match.
I mean, I think there is a world where we do see Girl Hell 1999 free mod 3. It's big CS, meaning it's very Hard Rock overmoddable if you really, really, really want to play AR10. That's a hard map though on the control side, but there is a world if they really want to stick with control. But again, it's I don't know. I don't know, Chief. Free mod 2.
Oh,
there it is.
Happening.
Here we go. Time to shred. It's happened.
It finally happened. It only took 8 maps to finally have one of these teams crack. Finally, the tapping gets picked. The 2 extremely confident tapping teams stare each other down, and New Zealand is the first to flinch. Here it is, free mod 2 Entangle Knight. And when we say a tapping map, this really is just a tapping map, isn't it, Dooms? There is really not much else in this one. The aim on this is non-existent. It is just tapping.
If you're missing on aim on this, I really don't know what to tell you. It's because there isn't any. I mean, there's a stack in the middle of the screen. If you're playing on Hard Rock, it's slightly harder to sit in the middle and cheese, but not really. It's a stream player's dream. It's literally a stream practice map. It's the sort of pick that I never thought I'd see in OWC, but hey, we do like to pick some different things here. It's always fun to see. 230 BPM is not super high, but it's the fact that it just never, ever, ever stops with the bursts. Like, ever.
It really
Not even in the slow part.
It just doesn't let up the whole map. So stamina is going to be, always a concern, when you start getting to these later stages on some of these more intensive stamina maps for the, teams that aren't at the very top. Are you going to get 4th played? And I know for New Zealand yesterday, they had a very strong 3 with Psyche, Kyujin, Hasapi, Osbert with some stamina issues. I believe it was on this map. It was either this or DT2, I don't recall. But some stamina issues coming in for Osbert. We'll see today if he's feeling a little warmer. Germany, on the other hand, unsure. So I don't believe we've seen them play this one. But they should have a solid, very strong 4.
This is the map I expected to see Aimbot Conan for. Yep. Getting him on that tapping, as is well known. Okinamo, very seasoned stream player as well, particularly at this BPM. Denzel Curry and Flair to round out the roster. Makes a very strong 4 for 230 stamina.
I believe this was the one we saw Hasapi FC for New Zealand yesterday, or near FC. It was either an FC or near FC, and it was one of the big reasons they actually beat China was Hasapi coming in for 2 of the tapping maps and practically FCing both of them, and was a large reason why they were able to beat China in that 6-3 fashion. So
yeah, I think that's Hasapi FC Dreadnought, to win it.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if he can do the same thing here on this free mod 2 again. But looking at a lobby of players here that should be very, very solid on the stamina.
Absolute crazy though. We're on map number 9, and that is the first swap New Zealand have made. So far, no one breaking.
Yeah, first time we've seen New Zealand stray away from that 4-man roster. So happy to break the streak. But it will break the streak, but not the combo, as no one breaks the combo. 8-way still intact. This one, 3 minutes long. Not alarmingly long, but when you factor in, you know, the idea that this just continues to be 230 BPM tapping the entire time, it gets very draining, very tiring at 3 minutes, and it starts to feel like an eternity. And here's the stack section you were talking about, Dooms. Can be a little, you know, more scary on the Hard Rock, but Hard Rock players holding strong.
My god, 3 players in Germany got so many 100s on that, and there goes Denzel Curry on the slow part! So it is with New Zealand now properly.
Heartbreaking this for Denzel Curry. And yeah, now's New Zealand chance to run away with this. Just don't finger lock, because misaiming on this is quite hard. Just hold onto that stamina, push through, because if you can hold this combo, it should be over. Denzel Curry finding stamina issues, he's double tapping.
Oh, he is, yeah, he is. He's just going for it now. His team are backing him up there with 3 FCs. There is a chance, but aimbot cone drops. It's 2 FCs to a full 4-way on the side of New Zealand now. Osbert looking much better this time than they did yesterday. Dropping 100s, but still FCing.
Yeah, I mean, this is absurd from New Zealand, man. The 4-way still intact, and you'd see Osbert starting to struggle on that stamina, but he is pushing through like a soldier, man. Just still hitting these streams. You can see when he hits those 100s falling off on the stamina, but just keeps going. So does the rest of New Zealand. Looking incredible for them. Hasapi as well, down on that accuracy, but holding on. Osbert finally falls, but Hasapi's still there with the low AC FC, and they've got Saikyu and Kyujin to take it home for them. And there goes Flair. Looks like New Zealand have found a way.
The tapping finally makes an appearance, and it was cinema. Germany with a great score there, but it will end with 1 FC, possibly from Okinamo. But New Zealand with 3 full combos, and I think Osbert may have got like a 1 miss, make that 2. That is a big statement win there from New Zealand. Just brilliant. And again, Kyujin with 99%. That is just amazing. And it is 5-4 Mavs. They consolidate the breakpoint.
A stellar performance from New Zealand on the free mod 2. I gotta give shout outs to Hasapi for getting a perfect combo, not dropping a single slider end with a 92%. That's some good stuff right there. Don't know how you managed that one, but incredible 3-way FC from New Zealand.
Just
Hasapi
combo game.
comes in to get the only swap of the match for their roster and just FCs. Been playing so well for them this round, specifically in the semi-finals. Hasapi has been doing so much work for New Zealand. Helps them get another point on the board here, and now Germany to pick, and New Zealand have to break point to bring us a tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's still really good for Germany. They still have some good aim on the board. I mean, after that, I don't know if they want to pick into Dreadnought, but that's a very different kind of tapping to this. Certainly, if I were Germany, I'd be looking at picking more aim. That has just worked so well for the most part here. But then again, in this situation, you know, your tournament life's on the line. You really don't want to mess this up. They do still have tiebreaker consolidated. Hard Rock 1, Okinamo's putting in chat. Is that where they're going? It would make sense. Big fake, fake, fake. High speed, comfy aim. It worked well on it last time. Why not pick it again?
Yeah, I mean, aims look good for them, and DT1 was convincing. Well, fairly convincing, at least. So, go for Hard Rock 1. It's aim, it's fast. This does make sense. It's the most sort of like straightforward pick they could have gone for. 255 BPM again, almost 4 minutes. These aim maps are really long in this pool. So, in for another long one, but you know, anything can happen on a map like this, Dooms. Really can, because, you know, every player can play this that's going to be in the lobby. It's just going to be who can play it the best.
I mean, Hard Rock is something New Zealand have loved picking into all tournament long. Even if it's free mod, they won't mind playing some Hard Rock. But this is pure Hard Rock mechanics. Not much discomfort in this. It's just 255 BPM, aim, triples and bursts in a fairly comfy style. It's a very German pick, I'd say, in terms of the style. It suits them very well from the many times I've seen them over the years. And of course, they did well on it yesterday against Chile. Good score from Kriller. He got an 800k on this. So they have already posted a very nice score on this already. But again, it's another pick where New Zealand can steal this. They've done it in the past many times on this mod already.
Could be stolen. And with how New Zealand is starting to look into the tail end of this match. Happen again here. Rock 1 players coming into the lobby. Good thing for Germany is you're going to have Kriller back in. And when you do miss, when you're playing those tapping maps, don't have Kriller. It's not going to be in for those. Back in, the star player for them. Been putting up some fantastic scores for them this match. Comes back in here, and we're going to see that core 4 as well back in for New Zealand. But of course, Kriller backed by Denzel, Tim Kakner, Flair. Denzel been playing very well this match as well.
Yeah, Tim Kakner back in there for the hard rock aim. What he's known for. It's the only swap for them, though. The usual squad, though, for New Zealand. They've won the last 2. The momentum is with them. But this is a German pick. Germany looking to seal their place in the finals if they can bank this one. Or you're going to have to go to tiebreaker.
And wouldn't tiebreaker be exciting, Dooms? Oath Original, extremely sick map. Would be very exciting. But we've got to get through this Hard Rock 1 first. Is it meant to be for New Zealand? We will find out in about 3 minutes. Here we go. Combos still intact for Germany mostly. Just a few breaks at the very start, but other than that, it's New Zealand with really the fumbles across the board. Osbert with the only combo to speak of.
It's just on Osbert up against Kriller, the hero on this map yesterday for Germany. Early doors, it's up to him, but Flair, one of their hard rock aim specialists, is backing him up extremely well. So far, so good here for Germany.
Yep, looking strong, but Osbert's there to match. Flair finds the break. Osbert versus Kriller now. There goes Osbert. It's all on Kriller again. On this aim today, has just looked like a monster. And New Zealand have nothing to match it. Denzel finds a break. There goes 5Q, the biggest combo in New Zealand to drop, and Kriller is completely unanswered.
Yeah, Kriller's standing alone right now, getting into the second verse. By far the biggest combo, and Tim Kakner is backing him up. Germany again with that insurance on this. There's the break. They see where they are. Kriller knows he needs to hold this. Tim Kakner knows that Kriller's got his back there.
Yeah. You wanted a break. Just see that you've got your teammate there backing you. Nerves not mounting as much when you've got someone there alongside you. There goes Denzel. Find the break. New Zealand trying to build up these recoveries. Osbert and Kyujin doing everything they can, but Tim Kakner and Kriller putting in work for the Germans. They do not want to see a tiebreaker. They do not want to see the biggest upset of OWC 2025 here today. And they want to get through this semi-final stage. Kriller wants it most of all. Continues to hold 2/3 through this map, hitting those difficult jumps. As we get into a slower section now, bit of free combo as we take a nice leisurely ride into the final quarter of the map. And I mean, barring a heartbreaking miss on this free combo section, Dooms. As we get into some more difficult jumps, Kriller, there
as well.
It is. Tim Kakner as well to miss. Hold on. There's combo on New Zealand. I think there's actually types for this, Dooms.
It's going to involve seeing the rest of the map, though. These back and forths are so hard. Kyujin drops on the last one. Osbert hits it. So does Psyche, but it's 500k. It's not going to be enough. There goes Osbert, and surely the hopes for New Zealand are extinguished there. Psyche's the biggest combo in the lobby, but he's got 250k to make up.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think Psyche, Osbert, and Kyujin would have all had to hold into this ending, and I think it would have been enough, but was not meant to be as we get into probably the most difficult jumps of the map there, and we see some breaks. Psyche as well finds the miss, and there it is. Germany, off the back of Kriller and Tim Kakner, are going to close things out right before the tiebreaker. It was close in the ending. It wasn't convincing by any means, but it was not meant to be for New Zealand as they exit OWC in the semi-finals. What a performance from New Zealand this tournament. And to take 4 points against Germany is really something to be so extremely proud of.
It's a brilliant run from New Zealand. It ends here, but Germany showing the fight and nous that they've always had. Germany, ever present in the finals, they will not be denied. And it is finals weekend for them. They will be awaiting the next round, and they will have a date with Australia next week. Oh boy.
It's almost poetic, Doobs, to see New Zealand go out in such a close fashion against Germany. And, you know, New Zealand's brethren, Australia, are going to be right there for the payback next week. So a match with a little bit of history in this OWC so far, that's going to be cool to watch. But Germany, big congratulations to them, as they will move on to versus Australia to next week. And, I mean, what else can you say? But big shout-outs to Kriller again for just putting on a monster performance for Germany. That's just incredible stuff. And Denzel Curry with some awesome scores today as well.
Yeah, Denzel Curry in for so many of these maps. You mentioned he's one of the rookies for this year, but he does not look out of place. He did so well in this matchup. And like I say, Tim Cackner with a brilliant score on that DT1 as well. A great FC on that one. Okanama with a great carry on the free mod 4 on that hidden when that was a critical map to win. They won that by 7k, and his score was so important to do so. And of course, Kriller, every year, he just delivers for Germany. One of the players of the tournaments for many years, Kriller, and it's brilliant to see him still at the top of his game.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is going to do us for now, Dooms. I think we do have another match coming up fairly shortly, I believe. If we could have a look at the schedule here. Yeah. In about an hour or so. Yeah, about an hour. And have South Korea versus Russia, which also should be a very good match on paper. Excited for that one, but other than that, close us out, Dooms. That was a fantastic match to cast.
Yeah, that was a brilliant matchup. I say, shout outs to New Zealand, the story of the tournament, no doubt. A run that just beggars belief. One of the most amazing runs from a lower seeded team we've ever seen in the World Cup, and they deserve every plaudit they've had. Absolutely brilliant from all involved. I can't wait to see what they bring to us in the future. I hope we see them back next year. But regardless, some great memories here in the World Cup from them. But regardless, congrats to Germany for that hard-fought win. We'll see them next week. But in an hour, tune in for South Korea versus the Russian Federation, which should be a barnstormer in the losers bracket. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for more World Cup 2025.